It's
Then
crazy.
talk me through what happened next. So you were 20, and then what
So
was your
yeah, so
first job?
so first of all, I was a joiner. So I worked for the local housing association, and I would fit windows, doors,
Hmm.
kitchens, and alongside that, I always wanted to work for myself. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I just always knew I wanted to work for myself. And my first thing I did, I don't know if you remember them. Do you remember flossies, the shoes?
No.
Do you not remember them? So flossies were almost like throwaway shoes. If you smelt the candy floss, and they were really cheap. They were about £25 a pair, and they originated from Spain. And I started selling these certain shoes from a garage. Now they would sell them in designer shops, and they were like say £25 a pair. I was getting them direct from Spain, so I seen a little bit of a niche in the market, and I spent what money I could have, and I think probably 50 quid I reckon I started with.
Hmm.
Bought these shoes, sold them, and carried on like that. And I moved my way from selling from my garage to selling on a car boot sale. So I went to a car boot sale on a Sunday, and I was known as the Flossy Man. So I'd have a stand, and then I moved from the outside pitch in the car boot sale to one of the undercover ones. So I had my own little undercover bit. So if it was raining, I was still all right. I had my little picnic bench, and I used to make about £2,500 a day selling these shoes, which was
Wow.
crazy. So people would queue, and there was one guy who he was the main man at the car boot sale. He used to sell prams, and they all, I could see them all talking, pointing at my stall, and there was queues and queues of people for these shoes because kids could wear them, adults could wear them, and I was doing them. I think two pair for £20, so they were a lot cheaper than they were in the shops. Anyway, I took over him, so I was the main seller in this car boot sale, and this guy, he hated it. Anyway, at the end, you had the guy who sold the DVDs and the computer games, and the guy who sold the prams, and they all sort of liked me, and we got to be friends. But yeah, that's how I started. So I started selling these shoes. I would bring them over from Spain. I had a contact over there who'd get them brought over to Sunderland and Leeds, and I'd drive up on a Saturday morning after work or Friday night, depending on when the ship come in. I'd fill my van, bring them back, sell them. I'd come home from work every day. There'd be a queue outside my house, all the way down the road for these shoes.
Wow.
And I used all that money to set up what first become Mass Body Development clothing brand, which is how I started. So I started first from the gym because I wanted a vest what fit me.
Mm-hmm.
So I then found a manufacturer for a vest, and I put that money that I made, I sold my pitch at the car boot sale, and I put it into Mass Body Development clothing brand, and I opened an eBay shop.
Wow.
Then started selling that from my house. My friend had a tattoo shop, so I rented a little room from him in his tattoo shop. I actually had two business partners at first. So MASS, which my business called, used to stand for Mike, Alan and Steve, two business partners. They then didn't see the company going anywhere, and they wanted to concentrate on the tattoo business. So I bought them out at the very early stage, £2,000 each. And then I carried on alone, and then went from there. Now I'm happy to go on, but it depends on where you want to take it.
No, it's class. Honestly, I love stories about when people start to buy, because the funny thing is that when not everyone has that. I always talk about my wife, because my wife was almost like straight A student all the way through school, and she grew up in Darlow, so she, she's not posh, but almost but she's never had that spark to kind of like, I want to set up a business, buy something, sell something, whatever. And for some reason, some people just have it, and it doesn't matter if it's shoes or tattoos or whatever, you just get the idea to kind of, and I love that. But it's annoying, again, they don't teach that at school. You've either kind of got it or you. No. So then
Do you know what? The little things that the kids like getting back. Sorry for interrupting you there.
Yeah, that's right.
When I hear now, like my son will come home now and he'll say, "Dad, can I buy this pack of Mars bars, 6 Mars bars for £1?" I say, "No, son, you're not eating Mars bars." He said, "I don't want to eat them. He said, I'm going to sell them at school." And I love that. That's what I love. He wants to sell them at school because he can sell them cheaper than they can in the canteen, and he can make some money. Wow. And I love that. Shouldn't kids get the opportunity to do things like that at school, to almost set up a business to sell stuff, if it's cakes, if it's whatever?
That's the best thing anyone's ever said on the podcast. I love it. What's quite funny, actually, my brother's got is Alfie, he's 11 now, but it was about when he was about 8. We were in a restaurant and I was talking him through. He was like, "Oh, Uncle, how's the business going?" And at 8 years old, he still knew about buying stock, and like he got it, and it was amazing. Like, honestly, I was blown away. But I wish they did. Honestly, that's the best thing anyone's ever said. So what kind of what various businesses and stuff have you got now?
So So I started with the clothing brand. That was my main business. I started with an eBay shop. Done really, really well from there. Then I rented an industrial unit, and it was in Skipper's Lane in South Bank, and I started selling these clothes from there. I then I sponsored a lot of top bodybuilders.
Okay.
So I got introduced to a lot of people, and we went to exhibitions at Birmingham EC and things like that. And my business was around the time when Gymshark, we had Gymshark. So Gymshark and me were about the same time. And we were at the Body Power together, both very similar backgrounds, but he had a lot better business sense than I did. He's a businessman. He had people around him, and what he's done with his business is unbelievable. What I sort of, I'm not going to say I messed up, because I don't regret anything that I've done in life. I regret things that I haven't done. But one of the things that I do regret is I had a meeting with Sports Direct once, and they wanted to take my clothing brand in 11 top European stores. And I turned it down, because I figured that I wouldn't have the infrastructure to deliver. And realistically, what I should have, looking back now, I think, so should I have maybe looked to build then? Should I have accepted that and just winged it? And I didn't. So that was one of the mistakes.
But it's also integrity, you know what I mean? And so you knew if you could have, because again, it's one of those things that some people, like we've all met people in business and they're full of shit and they'll just promise the world and not deliver. And I hate it. So the decision that you made was probably the right decision. That yes, you could have blagged it, but you could have lost everything. And that, because the one thing as well is that the one thing that sticks is reputation. So when if people actually respect that you're someone that does what they say they're going to do and whatever, that sticks with you for the next 50 years. If you're someone that screws someone over and just doesn't deliver, word will get round and nobody will touch you.
Yeah, that's what I say. You know, for me, people as a customer, they don't buy into a business; they buy into a brand and a person. And for me, that's what I wanted to create ethos around my companies now. Is you're not buying into a company, a brand. You're buying into people, whether it be me and my team. Because although it's my company, my companies wouldn't be anything without the team that I've got around me. And that's one thing what I think gets lost a little bit as companies grow. They forget about the people who were there at the start and helped them get to where they got to. And I'll never ever forget them people who believed in me when I didn't believe in myself.
Yeah, no, that's very cool. You've got a gym as well, I believe.
So what happened then is the clothing brand. It was going really, really well. We were turning over around about £400,000 a year, which was good from a brand what didn't create anything. I didn't have any advertising.
That's good for anyone.
I had the great athletes alongside me, and then other companies started coming in, taking a lot of the business, and I sort of make a decision: do I carry this on and try and scale it, or do I look at other areas to improve? So what I did then is I took the unit opposite my clothing brand, and then I opened a gym. And what I basically got was an old industrial unit. I had no money. I had £10,000 in the safe from sales of clothing. So I said, I want to open this gym. I don't have a dumbbell. I don't have an idea how to run a gym. I know how to train, but how do I do it? So I did a little bit of a different idea. What I decided I would do is I would sell a membership to a gym that didn't exist. So I went on my social media, which was nowhere near as big as what it is now, but I went on my social media and I said, look, I really want to open a gym. I want to offer all user membership for £100 a year, and there's 100 memberships available. So does anybody want it? So I said, I'm going to take money from the next day. And the next day, mate, I come and I had 100 people turn up, pay me £100, and you give me £10,000. I had £10,000 in the safe. So I then went over to the unit, which was available for rent, and I paid 4 months rent up front. I said, there's my 4 months rent. That gives me enough time to build this gym. And then went on eBay, I bought as much kit as I could find. And I come back and I turned an old industrial unit into a gym. Within 3 months, we were up and running. And I just vowed that every penny that the gym takes, it will get reinvested to make it better and better and better. And that's where we are today.
How long ago was that?
2014, we opened the gym. So we are now, 2022, 8 years.
Yeah. And what happened next? How did it go?
So the gym was really, really good. That was my forte. That's what I love to do. And I wanted to grow that and expand it. After I opened the gym, I wanted to work with people who didn't believe in themselves, because that was me. So people thought mass meant big because it was called Mass Body Gym. People thought it meant big, it was strong. So mass, actually, I renamed it to stand for Mike and Sons after all the business partners, which was quite fitting, to be honest. MES, it fit quite well. After I opened the gym, it went really, really well. And then I started entering into some awards. So there's an award within the fitness industry called the National Fitness Awards, which is the biggest, most accoladed award ceremony. So I entered my little gym in Middlesbrough into it, and I come runner up in the newcomer of the year, and I thought, it's amazing. So then I started to I wanted more, I wanted to improve, I wanted to be better. So I decided that I would start taking clients on and try and help them lose weight and become fitter and healthier. So I started entering the Best Personal Trainer of the Year award. In the first year, I made the shortlist out of thousands of people, but I didn't win. The second year, I made the shortlist out of thousands of people, and I come second. And I was like, I'm so close. Third year, I entered, and I come third. And at that point, I sort of stormed out, and I was thinking to myself, what more can I do? And it made me realise that it was not what more could I do, it's how much better could I do. So I went back to the drawing board. I said, right, from now on, this is my goal. I want to win that award. So the next year I went in for it again. And that year I won it. I became UK's best personal trainer, which was great. I was on top of the world. I was getting recognised for the work that I did. But the next year I didn't want to lose that title. And I thought, I want to keep hold of it. I want to keep hold of it. So I entered again. I won it again. No one's ever won it 2 years in a row. The third year, I've done it. I entered again. I thought, I can't win it a third year, surely. And I did. I was 3 times UK's best personal trainer consecutively, which was fantastic. But that was a testament to my clients, because I have some clients, the people who come forward and dedicate their life to their given goal. And as a personal trainer, it was absolutely unbelievable. So, I went from there. Now I'm a judge for the National Fitness Awards, so I stood down. I managed to retain it the 4th year, but only because of COVID, so no one could take that title off me because COVID was there.